Popular bakery cafe chain Panera Bread is in hot water after a viral caffeine sensation causes the passing of a customer.
This is not an ad, this is a warning.
And a dairy treat turns delicious to deadly from this one mistake.
Investigators tracing the source of the outbreaks.
Let's get into it. Our first story reveals that a certain caffeine favorite might be more dreadful than energy boosting. The typical morning scenario. Crowded cafes with customers ordering their standard cappuccinos, black coffee, or even a matcha latte to power through a busy workday, or that after-school assignment that's been put off. But how many cups do you have to go through to stay focused? If only there was a more convenient option. Well, in spring 2022, Panera Bread reimagined the traditional pick-me-up by introducing charged lemonades, a blend of bright, zesty flavors and simple ingredients. But it's not your typical lemonade.
This lemonade has 400 milligrams of caffeine in it. 400. Are you kidding me?
I have learned something that should be illegal. 100% should be illegal.
In a post that has since gone viral, TikToker Sarah, who uses the cafe as a workspace, shared her experience with the lemonade in question.
And it has caffeine. And I knew that. But when I'm sitting there, I'll drink 4 or 5 of these. And I was always like, man, when I work at Panera, I feel great. I feel awesome. I get so much done.
Sarah explained she never knew the exact amount of caffeine lurking within the drink until her husband, who has type 1 diabetes, looked up the nutrition facts online before venturing a taste for himself. In doing so, they discovered the shocking truth.
It has 260 milligrams of caffeine.
Yep, her regular-sized lemonade had more caffeine than she had bargained for.
An espresso, I looked it up, has 63 milligrams of caffeine. 63 for one shot of espresso.
But it seems that revelation wasn't quite enough to keep her from purchasing another charged drink in the future.
And I really like them. I've decided I'm going to water them down. But Panera, who's going to create a product with 263 milligrams of caffeine? Look what you're doing. I'm dying.
Sarah captioned the post, "Panera Bread, this drink should come with a warning because it's delicious and it will lead to my cardiac arrest." Viewers noticed Sarah's fast-paced demeanor she assumingly got from consuming the beverage, to which Sarah responded, "I couldn't get my thoughts to run in order, ha 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 ha." Others were shocked by the comparison to espresso. So I did the math. 4 or 5 of those drinks is equivalent to about 19 shots of espresso. And a Panera employee even offered up some advice. Coming from an employee, mix it into half-charged lemonade/regular lemonade or bubbly lime water. Much better for you, LMFAO. Now, if you thought the caffeine amount in the regular size was a lot, get a load of what the large size is packing.
So I went and got a large. This is a Fuji apple cranberry. It's delicious. And then I got all the after sandwich caffeines in it. 389 is what's in a large.
That's right. The large 30-ounce serving contains nearly 390 milligrams of caffeine, which is startling when compared to standard energy drinks. For reference, a 250 milliliter can of Red Bull contains about 80 milligrams of caffeine, while a similar serving of Monster has 166 milligrams, meaning Panera's lemonade has more caffeine than both these popular drinks combined.
I can feel my eyes.
And from the words of a Reddit post about the high caffeine content, a moment of silence for all those parents whose kids want to try the new flavored lemonades. This amount also reaches towards the height of what is recommended per day, since the FDA states, for a healthy adult, 400 milligrams of caffeine to be an amount not generally associated with dangerous negative effects. But when the restaurant promoted an offer, customers had a hard time refusing.
Panera has a promotion right now where you could just go and get it for free as much as you want. I don't have enough self-control to handle this amount of access to caffeine.
Every day. Free! Free! It's literally free.
And those who had an unlimited Sip Club membership were granted to unlimited refills at any size at the self-serve station. Some even used the extra energy boost to their advantage.
This is my literal pre-workout.
And for others, it seemed to have less of an effect on them. Low amounts of caffeine work, but high amounts make me sleepy for some reason. Caffeine puts me to sleep too, lol. I have coffee before bed. So sure, if you'd rather drink one big cup of lemonade as opposed to multiple coffees or energy drinks, you should have that right. But what about those who can only handle small amounts of caffeine, or even none at all? People with heart conditions, anxiety, are pregnant, breastfeeding, or are children either need to be careful with their caffeine intake or avoid it altogether. TikToker Lil B had to end her study session at Panera Bread early after consuming the beverage, admitting she had a slight sensitivity to caffeine. Lil B also underestimated how much caffeine was in each cup.
But I still thought I was gonna be okay. I thought I was gonna be okay. Turns out I was not gonna be okay.
She also revealed her symptoms began shortly after finishing her charged lemonade.
After about an hour, I started feeling shaky and nervous, and anxiety was hitting me, and I became emotional, and I'm shaking.
After checking the restaurant's website for a 20-ounce size drink, she realized she ingested 258 milligrams of caffeine.
No wonder I'm shaky. No wonder I want to cry and I want to throw up. I feel awful. And if I had known that there was that much caffeine, I would have never drinking it. This is your warning. Don't drink it.
For people sensitive to the stimulant like Lil B, you'd hope that the restaurant would provide detailed notice of such a potentially dangerous to some beverage, right? It turns out they didn't, at least not at first.
Panera should be more correctly labeling there is extra caffeine in there, like it's freaking pre-workout. Like, I'm dying. I'm actually dying.
And the commenters on the TikTok were grateful for her warning. OMG girl, I just looked this up before I went to get it. And your vid popped up. I'm so glad. Thank you. I have bad anxiety attacks. You literally saved me. And others reported similar reactions. I was sick for 2 days. Very tired the day after. Sick stomach. I felt out of my head. This thing is dangerous. I wish I had saw this video yesterday. I got the 32-ounce, and I'm still going nuts. I barely slept last night. I tried this today. I wish I knew or seen this sooner. I threw up so much, I feel like death. But then, in the wake of this new beverage making waves for its unsettling results, the unthinkable happened. On September 10th, 2022, Sarah Katz, a 21-year-old student at the University of Pennsylvania, seemed to be a new fan of Panera Bread's beverages. Just a week and a half earlier, she signed up for the monthly Unlimited Sip Club membership, granting her unlimited drinks. But that week, Sarah's last purchase would be a charged lemonade, a seemingly innocent choice. Within hours, her world would crumble. Sarah attended a dear friend's birthday celebration at a restaurant, where she suddenly fell into a cardiac arrest. Emergency responders rushed to the scene and swiftly took her to the hospital, where she once again went into cardiac arrest. But this time, Sarah passed away. As a result, Sarah's family is suing Panera Bread for wrongful death, accusing the company of setting the lemonade side by side with all of Panera's non-caffeinated and/or less caffeinated drinks, and misleadingly marketing the charged lemonade as plant-based and clean, while hiding the dangerous levels of caffeine contained with each beverage, merely comparing the levels to have as much caffeine as the restaurant's dark roast coffee. A spokesperson from Panera had this to say about the incident. We were very saddened to learn this morning about the tragic passing of Sarah Katz, and our hearts go out to her family. At Panera, we strongly believe in transparency around our ingredients. We will work quickly to thoroughly investigate this matter. The family's pursuit has even led the FDA to open an investigation into the tragic incident and are gathering information. In a statement to CBS News, the agency said, "They are saddened to hear of the passing of a consumer and, as always, take seriously reports of illnesses or injury from regulated products." Adding, the agency monitors the marketplace of FDA-regulated products and takes action as appropriate, including collaborating with the Federal Trade Commission regarding marketing claims. The lawsuit by Sarah's family alleges these unregulated beverages include no warning of any potentially dangerous effects, even the life-threatening effects on blood pressure, heart rate, and/or brain function. Warnings that, according to the family, would have saved Sarah's life. Sarah had been diagnosed with long QT syndrome type 1, a heart rhythm disorder, in childhood, and made a conscious effort to avoid high caffeine drinks. Sarah's roommate and friend told NBC that she was very, very vigilant about what she needed to do to keep herself safe, adding, "I guarantee, if Sarah had known how much caffeine this was, she never would have touched it with a 10-foot pole." It's clear that reactions to the charged lemonades were not isolated incidents, as a flurry of more and more TikTokers took to the platform to share their experiences with the drink and warn others. Like Takitha, who had stopped drinking caffeine for a while, only to inadvertently consume it in the charged lemonade at Panera Bread.
As I told y'all, I stopped drinking caffeine a little while ago.
It wasn't until she came home and saw on Twitter the exact amount of caffeine she had ingested.
And that explains why I'm on edge. Honestly, if they bottled up some and sold it, this would be it.
She, too, reiterated the sentiment that the drink should be banned.
This should be illegal.
And yet another story to add to the controversy. TikTok user Olivia shared her harrowing experience after drinking 2 large charged lemonades before heading to class.
One time I had this drink and I literally couldn't move after.
In the viral video, she described how even though she was used to downing one of these drinks nearly every day for 3 weeks prior, in this particular instance, something shocking happened. She developed severe symptoms, including lightheadedness, uncontrollable twitching, and an inability to move her legs.
And then I just start sobbing. Couldn't move my legs, couldn't control my body. I figure out I have caffeine poisoning.
That's right. Just 2 large cups of this lemonade, with 774 milligrams of caffeine total, poisoned Olivia. The worst part? Poison control couldn't help her.
They're like, yeah, like there's nothing we can do. Like you just have to wait it out.
Commenters were left in a state of shock. Dude, what? I've never heard of caffeine poisoning. What the hell? I just don't understand how they're even allowed to sell that. Guys, every time I go to Panera and get a charged lemonade, I refill it multiple times and don't feel anything. Am I okay? Now, the dispensing stations for the lemonade at Panera did have a sign notifying customers of the presence of caffeine within the beverage, stating, "Plant-based, clean caffeine, powered by guarana and green coffee extract." And below that listing, the size and corresponding amount of calories and milligrams of caffeine within each flavor. However, it's worth noting the caffeine mentions are printed in small text in comparison to the flavor names. Eventually, due to all the commotion on social media, and likely after the passing of Sarah Katz, an additional sign was seen at one Panera location in October 2023, stating, "Contains caffeine. Consume in moderation. Not recommended for children, people sensitive to caffeine, pregnant, or nursing women." And some locations removed free refills altogether. Either way, this story is a testament to always keep a close eye on what goes into your body. Research what you're about to consume, friends, and stay vigilant. But sometimes, even vigilance and label checking isn't enough to keep you safe. In our next story, the fault lies behind the machinery used to serve your food, or in this case, dessert. We're talking about milkshakes, the delicious, mess-free delight that lets you savor every sip through a straw without worrying about melting. The concoction of milk, ice cream, and flavorings, and a little something extra, would cause a horrifying health crisis in August 2023.
3 people are dead after drinking milkshakes in Washington, and 6 others have been sent to the hospital.
It all happened at a Frugal's restaurant in Tacoma, Washington.
Investigators tracing the source of the outbreaks to a Frugal's restaurant in Tacoma.
The bacteria was found in all milkshake flavors sold at the restaurant.
But how could a simple milkshake end someone's life? Well, it all seems to boil down to improperly cleaned machines.
State health officials are linking all of this to a Listeria bacteria outbreak after they say the ice cream machines were not cleaned properly. The restaurant stopped selling milkshakes and says they are heartbroken and regret any harm they may have caused. The equipment is now being sent to be cleaned and sanitized.
Listeria bacteria was found in the soft serve ice cream used to make milkshakes at this Frugal's in Tacoma.
We always hear about listeria outbreaks and know to steer clear of it. But what is it anyway? TikTok science communicator Menka had this to say.
So listeria is a bacterial genus with 21 different species. The species that infects humans is called Listeria monocytogenes. Listeria infection is typically caused by eating contaminated foods. Also, fun fact, listeria can grow at cold temperatures.
And if you're unlucky enough to get infected by it, mild symptoms can include fever, muscle aches, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, according to the FDA. But Menka warns it can become much more serious.
These symptoms include headache, stiff neck, loss of balance, convulsions, and confusion.
Underscoring the severity of the listed symptoms, she added,
so if you are experiencing or know anyone experiencing any of these, take them to emergency care immediately or call 911.
Out of an abundance of caution, TikToker Brainless Catboy, or Mimi, decided to get tested after finding out about the outbreak in question.
Come with me to get tested for listeria, I guess.
Revealing in her video that she had ingested 5 of the milkshakes from the exact Frugals location in Tacoma, all within the time frame of the outbreak.
And in the moment they slapped, but right now I'm very, very much regretting it.
She said that due to a hyperactive thyroid and resulting low white blood cells, she wanted to err on the side of caution. During her visit, her doctor revealed that the previous day, she had diagnosed an older woman with listeria who also had one of the milkshakes. But in a twist, her doctor didn't run any tests since Mimi wasn't actively showing any symptoms.
But then she said that if I do show any symptoms, then to hurry my butt to the ER.
So now I sit and wait and see if I feel like I have listeria.
Viewers were surprised by the doctor's decision. Why not test just in case? Definitely go somewhere else to get tested. She told you someone was positive but still advised you not to test? If your doctor ever refuses tests, tell them to put that in your chart. They'll do the tests instead. Me, personally, I can't just sit there and wait. The waiting game for the listeria symptoms to come out would give me hysteria instead. The tricky thing is that listeria symptoms can actually lay dormant for days to even months before revealing their unwelcome selves. Something one TikTok commenter knows all too well to be true. My dad passed of listeria, and it can live in your body for 6 months, so we never knew how he got it. And like many illnesses, there are certain groups of people who are more at risk of developing symptoms.
Pregnant people, newborns, elderly, and immunocompromised people can get a more severe version of the disease.
And tragically, like in the cases out of this story, they can even pass away.
All of the people affected in this outbreak had weakened immune systems.
So, health officials advise anyone who believes they have been exposed to an outbreak and notice symptoms to seek care as soon as possible because, thankfully, listeria can be treated by antibiotics. TikTok user The News Gal also emphasized the dangers listeria posed to pregnant women, going so far as to warn them to avoid all soft-serve ice cream in general.
Or anything that comes out of those machines like milkshake or frozen yogurt.
Explaining that although pregnant women are advised to steer clear of sushi, cold cuts, and lettuce, they aren't necessarily told about listeria directly.
Listeria is actually one of the few bacteria that can travel through the umbilical cord and actually reach the placenta, and it is really dangerous for fetus and the mother.
And referring to the soft-serve dispensing machines, she adds,
those pipes, if they are not cleaned properly, they are a breeding ground for listeria.
Many pregnant viewers were shocked to hear this. Damn, I'm pregnant and I guess I'll be adding this to my list of things not to eat. We were about to get a milkshake today and I'm pregnant. I'm shook. I'm so scared of listeria right now being pregnant, I don't want to eat out. Another offered a possible theory on a common ice cream machine. Makes sense why McDonald's ice cream machine is always out of service. McDonald's trying to avoid lawsuits. I'm actually not mad about it anymore. Sadly, in the case of the 3 lives that were cut tragically short in Tacoma, Washington, the damage had already been done. As a result, 2 families of the victims have filed lawsuits against Frugals
for negligence and wrongful death, among other allegations, after their loved ones fell ill.
But what did Frugals have to say about the situation?
The restaurant stopped selling milkshakes and says they are heartbroken and regret any harm they may have caused.
And they did what they needed to avoid the tragedy repeating itself.
A big sorry, no shakes now welcomes drive-thru customers at Frugal's off Pacific Avenue in Tacoma.
They've shut down all their milkshake machines for cleaning and will cooperate with this investigation.
But I spoke to a food safety attorney who says it may already be too late.
And though most Frugal's locations have since resumed their normal milkshake operations, saying, milkshake machines have been tested and results have come back negative for Listeria. The machines that started it all, at the Ground Zero location, remained out of service, with the company saying it will take a little longer as we are looking into purchasing a new shake machine for this location. And this isn't the first time ice cream has been in the spotlight for Listeria. Ice Cream House and Soft Serve on the Go ice cream cups were both recalled in the past year due to the bacteria, resulting in 2 hospitalizations. And since 2011, everything from cantaloupes to other dairy products, meats, vegetables, and even hard-boiled eggs have been added to the list of Listeria outbreaks by the CDC. That's a big range of foods. So, how can you keep yourself safe? The CDC website lists foods to avoid and which to choose instead, saying that you should make sure that your food is processed and heated correctly and washed thoroughly. So, whether it's an overabundance of caffeine hiding in your new favorite drink or microscopic foes within your milkshake, it's clear we have to be extra careful of what we ingest. Stay safe out there. What do you think of these stories? Let us know in the comments below.